This is the best time to be playing Grand Summoners. Not only are the mines here, which offer tons of rewards, we just recently got the AFK mode, which is great for literally everybody, whether you're a veteran player or a brand new player. And lastly, we have the Frieren crossover happening literally later tonight. So whether you're just starting playing the game or you've been playing the game for years, let me tell you why this banner is so good. A classic OP support unit. It kind of happens with most crossovers in our past. Killer Kill originally had Mako, then it had Hoka, then we had Tensura with the Demon Lord Samurai Rimuru. But now fast forward a bit more and we finally have Frieren being the next iteration of a support unit in GS. Not only are you just getting a character that has so much arch gen with her true art, you also are getting a character that is able to cleanse damage res down, which is an extremely rare cleanse. Only one character in the game has this, and they are a taunt tank, so it only affects themselves. But with Frieren, it can literally affect anybody on your team that has a damage res down debuff, including if you're using a taunt tank that's not Kirisame, you could use Frieren's skill and cleanse that DR down that's on said taunt tank. Or if you're using an all light damage team, you're getting massive damage buffs thanks to her. But even if you're not using an all light damage team, she's at least going to be benefiting from the massive damage buff that she applies, and everyone on the team will be benefiting from her passive that gives everybody 100% defense ignore. I am a huge fan of 100% defense ignore. A lot of the times I prefer defense ignore over crit chance, just for the simple fact that defense ignore is never ever countered. So that pretty much translates to Frieren's gonna be able to be used with not only just light characters, but pretty much any character in the game that wants a support unit next to them. She's providing permanent stat increases, tons of arts, cleansing damage reses, defense ignore, and if they're a light unit, then a massive damage buff as well. Now, I will say that there are some negatives to Frieren that I will let you guys know about, because she's not like just the absolute pinnacle of a support unit. I know I made a meme earlier this week and put it on my community tab. This isn't necessarily my opinion on Hoka versus Frieren. I just thought this was funny. Since she's type E, well, she has to compete with all of these characters that you see here that are type E archgeners. So if you're using someone like Hoka already on your team and you want to throw Frieren on there with him, they won't stack archgen. Or a somewhat big one is that if you're using mono light, Frieren can't stack archgen with someone like Summer Chloe, which is a very solid light support unit. The condition effect is also another thing. She would be immensely better if it was just, if their max HP can reach 10,000, they get an additional 2 arts. Because some people are saying that they are worried that if you fight a boss that just instantly takes all of your HP down to like 1, you won't get that additional art gauge, which 6 arts is still really solid, but you know, 8 arts is very good. And those 2 things are really the only 2 issues I have with Frieren. I can't wait for this character to come into the game and just people throw her on teams and just use her, and she's just going to be a crazy good support unit for a lot of characters, especially for light. And we've gotten so many good light characters recently. Kenshin, Hero Saitama. If you're on JP, you have Young Emperor, you have the entire Magical Index collab, and she's just adding on to their stopping power. Like, it's crazy to me that you have the Slayer, One Punch Man, and, well, we're not going to say that because I'll be getting demonetized. There is another character, though, coming out on this banner that I don't think you guys should sleep on, especially if you're a bit newer. I think this guy's going to be great for you, and that's going to be Stark. His entire thing is using his true art to get stacks. Every true art that you use, you get 200% break power and damage for your next super art. And you can stack your true art's damage buff up to 5 times, meaning that in max stacks, you have 1,000% break power buff and damage buff. Of course, you don't have to stack it all the way up to 5. I think 2 stacks on this in most situations is going to be a-okay. But just know that you will need to have some kind of arch on the team to get them to that initial true art. Once you have it, you pop over your super art, does big damage, puts a massive physical res down on the enemy, and you just kind of rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. He also has the near death passive, which I really like this one. You get 50% DR and 5 arts per second for the next 20 seconds after you get near death. This could be really good in like very in-game fights where, let's say for example, against Mars X in the Mines. Mars X in the Mines has this crazy AoE nuke at the very end. They can easily wipe your whole team, but if you all have defense items propped and then Stark gets near death, he just adds an instant 50% DR on top of everyone else. Well, there you go. You probably are going to be surviving 9 times out of 10. Unless you're on like floor 300, then there's no way you could beat him. I kind of wish it was more on an internal cooldown instead of only being once per quest, because I think that would benefit him a ton. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Maybe that would have made him a bit too broken. There is a glaring issue with Stark though, and it's mainly to do if you are going to be using him as a breaker, which is he doesn't have any innate break res down in his kit. For using him alongside Chloe, or in JP you could use him alongside Accelerator. As long as you provide some type of break res down, he really shouldn't have any problem breaking a lot of the bosses in the game. If you're a brand new player, I would say getting Stark and Frieren in a reroll account sets you up very nicely. You have an attacker and breaker that can deal quite a bit of damage, and then you have Frieren giving crazy support to Stark and defense ignore, which is something that Stark's gonna need because he doesn't have any kind of innate defense ignore or crit chance or any way to bypass defense. And that's probably the best start you can get, but I will be making an actual best start video once part 2 comes out to really show you ways to truly jumpstart your account, especially if you just started within this crossover. So by this point, you should all already know, you absolutely need a summon on this banner. And not only summon on this banner, also take a look at the crossover equips. I know a lot of people tend to avoid the gacha equips, but I would highly recommend that you at least bare minimum pick up this Holy Emblem. This Holy Emblem is a 5-star support AoE Archon item. It's on a 30-second cooldown. It gives spirits and human allies 30% damage. It's great. And if you want something else to get from this crossover, Stark's outfit. Amazing defense item. And for everybody out there, if you're free to play or not, make sure you get Eisen's Axe. This is a very, very good physical Archon item that is going to be free for everybody. So good luck to all of you that are going to be summoning later tonight. I heard that if you hit the like button, you get +1 luck. Don't know if it's true though, but hey, can't hurt to try. I won't be able to live stream my summons, unfortunately. I will be having a video out for you guys, so you guys can stay tuned to that. The good news is though, is that I probably will be able to stream the part 2 summons. So hopefully you guys can look forward to that. I'm sorry that I can't do part 1, but I got y'all with part 2. But if y'all enjoyed this video, I highly recommend check out this video popping on the screen right now. It's talking about how to get free ascended characters in Grand Summoners. If you don't know about it yet, click on that. So no matter what level of play you're at, you can finally get those ascended characters actually ascended. Oh, but before you leave, don't forget to drink water.